What's up, guys? LQ here with the LQ Review. Thank you so much for joining me right here at my YouTube channel. This is where we talk about all the geeky, nerdy stuff that we love to talk about. Movies, video games, comic books, and TV shows. And right now, I want to talk about Saved by the Bell, the reboot, Season 2. Now, it's not really a reboot. It is a sequel series in the way that Cobra Kai is a sequel series to The Karate Kid. We've got new characters, but we also have the legacy characters, and they're both kind of, while the focus is more on the new characters, the legacy characters have significant amount of screen time. And season 1 came out last year, and I gave it a positive review, but I didn't love it. But I gave it a positive review. I felt that there was a lot of opportunity where it could have been better, but I also felt like it missed the mark in a lot of areas. It didn't feel like Saved by the Bell to me. But like I said, I still gave it a positive review. So here we are on season 2. And I liked season 2 a lot better. I did. It still does not feel like Saved by the Bell, but it does feel like it feels like Saved by the Bell has evolved, because there are moments where it feels very familiar, like familiar to the point where like this is Saved by the Bell, but it's new Saved by the Bell. It is Saved by the Bell that has evolved into something modern. And I think that's fine. I think that's fine. Unlike Star Trek over at CBS, like CBS doesn't even know what Star Trek is. I feel like NBC Peacock, I feel like they know what Saved by the Bell is, but they're trying to change it. They're trying to evolve it into something a little more modern, to where it doesn't feel like the old Saved by the Bell, but it still is Saved by the Bell. What I liked about this season was the legacy characters got a lot more screen time, especially Zach, Kelly, and Lisa. They got a lot more screen time. And we had a nice arc for AC Slater and Jesse Spano. We had an arc that played with the idea of them potentially getting back together. Do they, don't they? Well, I'm not going to spoil that here. But that was definitely a running theme in this series, was will they or won't they? Here is the thing about this new Saved by the Bell, though. It's extremely woke. Now, this is not a bad thing. This is not a bad thing. And I'm somebody who typically, like, I hate checking boxes. Like, I hate it when entertainment, when TV shows or movies, that you can tell they just check the boxes to make sure that their diversity quotas were met. And that happens a lot nowadays in Hollywood. And this was definitely checking the boxes. We had, multiple people of every race and ethnicity. We had a trans person. We had multiple homosexual people. We had Asian people. We had black people. We had female people in prominent roles. We had the white males were stupid. That's a woke thing. You can't deny it. You cannot deny it. White males, white straight males in these movies, in these shows today, the ones that are woke, they are stupid. They are downplayed for the benefit of everybody else. Like Zach Morris' son, Mac Morris. He's an idiot. He's an idiot that manages to be, successful and lovable in the process, but he's an idiot. Jesse Spano's son, Jamie Spano, he's an idiot. He's one of my favorite characters in the show because he's so funny, but he's an idiot. So they check all the boxes. Like there's no doubt that when they were in the writers' room, I believe this 110%. When they were in the writers' room, they had their checklist out and they were making sure that everybody was represented and that they were represented properly. So that being said, why don't I hate it? Because normally I hate checkboxed entertainment. Well, I think that they know that we know that's what they're doing. If you watch the Saved by the Bell reboot, it is almost so woke that it's a parody of itself. And I mean that. It is so woke that it's a parody of wokeness. Like, there's points where people correct people for stupid pronoun usage. There's a point where, they ask if, can I say that right now? Is that something I can say? And then they go off and say something worse. I mean, it's, I think it's a parody of wokeness. I really do. I think that they're checking their boxes and they're getting their woke points, but they're parodying it in the process. And it's kind of a genius thing. It's going to appeal to the woke crowd who want to see this stuff, and it's going to appeal to the people who think it's a little ridiculous. It's going to appeal to everybody. Now, to be clear, I'm all for diversity in entertainment. I think that it's been a long time coming to where we have equal representation in our entertainment. But it needs to be organic. It needs to be authentic. It can't feel like they're checking boxes. And that's typically what it feels like in Hollywood, because they're just so clueless, right? They're so clueless in Hollywood. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know, like, Hollywood writers, they don't know the first thing about normal people in this country. They live in their little Hollywood bubble. And they think that what exists in their little Hollywood bubble is what the real world is like, and it's not. So they're completely clueless as to the real world. They're completely clueless to diversity of ideas. They live in their little bubble where woke is how everybody should be, and that any kind of ideas that are outside of this woke bubble are bad, they're evil, they're racist, whatever you want to call it. That's what they believe. So you see these checkbox entertainment where there's no diversity of ideas. And just to be completely fair, there's not a lot of diversity of ideas in the Saved by the Bell reboot, if any. But what we are getting a woke show that's making fun of itself for being woke. I find that hilarious. I laughed out loud several times during this. Every episode, in fact, there were laugh out loud moments for me. Just because I recognized what they were doing. And excuse me, and like I said, I think you're going to have the people who are applauding what they're doing. Like, yes, they're being woke. And you're going to have people who, to be fair, you're going to have people who hate it. There's a trans person in a prominent role. There is, there's plenty of homosexual representation. There's plenty of representation from other ethnicities. There's gonna be people out there that don't like that. And like I said, that representation doesn't bother me at all. I think it's a good thing. I think that this is long overdue, but wokeness irritates me, and I think that this was it was kind of brilliant. I really enjoyed it. I laughed a lot, and it definitely evolved the characters. Evolved the character of Zach Morris, Kelly Morris, Jesse Spano, AC Slater. They all saw their storyline progress. I'm not sure that Lisa Turtle saw her storyline progress much. Out of all the legacy characters, she was the one who was in it the least. So really didn't see a lot of progression from her character. It was more of a catch up as to what's going on in her life. There was a nice moment at the end of episode 1 where they did a tribute to Screech, because Dustin Diamond died recently, and they did a nice tribute to him, and it was a nice moment where they remembered him, and they had some flashbacks to the original series, and it was well done. It was well done. I was glad they did that. Overall, season 2 was a big win for me. I thought it was great. Much better than season 1, and I liked season 1, so that goes to show you how much I like season 2. I think if they continue, they need to continue, and I think they will continue, because season 2 did end on a bit of a cliffhanger. But if they continue, I think they need to continue with the self-referential wokeness, where, hey, this is what we're doing, but we can laugh at ourselves in the process. I think that's great. And I think it makes for a very entertaining show. So I loved it. Someone closed their door outside. Someone closed their car door. And that's what my dog's doing. All right, let's wrap this up. I liked it a lot. What did you think of it? Let me know in the comments down below. While you're down there commenting, make sure you subscribe to my channel. And until next time, we'll see you guys later. Hey guys, it's LQ with the LQ Review. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me.